Hello, I'm Jeff Harbin with the Principal Foundation. Principal Foundation is based in Kansas City, Missouri. If some of you may not have heard of it, it is an organization that provides benevolent aid to Christian scientists in need. There may be a heating bill that's overly large or any kind of unexpected event or expense that has come to them that they are just not able to pay. The Principal Foundation often has helped Christian scientists with those types of needs. For me, I was hired by the Principal Foundation a year ago to work with the institutional clients. So that means people that are incarcerated and have needs such as hygiene, maybe they need a new pair of shoes. Often income is an issue with the inmates. If they have family, it's not so much, but there are many inmates without anyone on the outside that cares about them. These are inmates that typically have found Christian Science while in prison. It has become a very meaningful part of their life, as perhaps they're attending weekly Christian Science Bible services. Perhaps they are working with Christian Science volunteers. Let me give you an example. Recently, we had a man that was just released from prison. Right before he was picked up by the police for his crime, he had visited the Christian Science reading room in Overland Park. He liked what he saw. He visited with our attendants. And after he was in the detention center, he wrote to our reading room, asked that they might send him some literature because he enjoyed what he saw there. Shortly thereafter, the reading room staff notified me, since I was the institutional chair at our church. Then we talked about perhaps getting a Christian Science service started at his detention center. The detention center asked that we have at least 3 people, and then they would be happy to let us do that. Fast forward a few years, he was then convicted of his crime and sent to state prison. He served time there, doing all he could to live the life of a Christian Scientist. Wherever he went, got other inmates together for Bible study, and invariably they would start talking about Mary Baker Eddy and science and health with key to the scriptures. Then was transferred to a work release facility towards the end of his stay in prison. He was allowed to work and then come back to a halfway house for a number of months. He was released the day before Thanksgiving in the Wichita, Kansas area. He is able to stay with the company that he's been working with formerly in the work release for the past 6 months, and has developed a very successful relationship with that company, which he plans to continue for the foreseeable future. Sometimes the hardest part for an incarcerated person is to really just get back into a normal position in society. Where do I sleep? What am I going to do for work? How am I going to get food and clothing? Perhaps the Principal Foundation can give them funds for the first month or 2 of rent if they're ready to move into an apartment, that type of thing. So the Principal Foundation is doing a lot of good for inmates as well as for those that are leaving prison, and we're just very happy with that. So if any of the Christian Science churches across the country, institutional workers in those churches would like to get in touch with me at the Principal Foundation, my information will be shown on the screen now. So feel free to call me, feel free to write. If you know of inmates that your institutional workers know need assistance, they can write to me directly at the address shown on the screen. Thanks very much.